3D Squidward Acrylic Nailer Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be showing you a 3D Squidward from Spongebob. If you missed my past two Spongebob videos, I do have a Patrick and a Spongebob video that I already uploaded, and I will put links to those in the description box below to round out this series. I hope you like this design as much as the others, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. Bye!
So I'm going to begin with an overlay of teal acrylic and then encapsulate the nail with a layer of clear acrylic. That teal acrylic just gives it kind of a watery type of a look. So then that layer of clear is just to make sure that the nail is very strong and durable. Because especially if this is something that's on a client or on yourself that you're planning on wearing for the next 2 to 6 weeks, you want to make sure it's not going to snap on you. And then I'm going to file the nail into shape with my e-file to keep it nice and strong and smooth. And then I'm going to use a mossy green acrylic to begin sculpting Squidward's face and neck. So with each of these characters in this little mini series, I tried to really put a focus on their face. And, you know, if I got some of their body in, great, but as long as I got their face in, that's kind of my goal. And the thing with Squidward is he's so tall and thin that it's almost kind of hard to put a focus on his face because he looks out of proportion to the other characters. So his head is a little bit smaller on the nail compared to the other ones in this design. So instead of filling the majority of the nail, his face is only going to fill about, I don't know, a little bit better than half, I'd say. So I've got the top of his head, and his head, almost the shape of it is like a mushroom, and then it's got this flat part on the bottom. And then you've got his long skinny neck coming down. And so then after that, I'm going to take yellow, and I'm going to be adding, it's a pale yellow, and add his eyes with pale yellow and his shirt with brown. So for this one, I'm going to go through, and as you could see, I sculpted one eye, and then I hopped down and I sculpted his shirt, and then I'm going to go back and kind of clean up that eye. So acrylic tends to not listen very well right after it's set down when it's really, really wet. It's uncured. It's kind of, it's got a mind of its own. So if you want to, it's sometimes actually a good idea to put down the bead of acrylic and then work on something else for a moment and come back to it and give that acrylic just a moment or two to cure and polymerize slightly so that it actually works easier for you and you don't have to chase it around the nail as much. So if you want to, that is always an option, and something that, especially like for sculpting a flower, even a really simple 5-petal basic flower, I like to put a bead down and then put another bead down and then kind of stagger back and forth to give the acrylic a chance to polymerize. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to be adding his nose, and his nose comes down so it goes right between those eyes, and then it goes over that bottom bar shape that I mentioned on his face. That's his mouth, or his grimace. Add a little bit of that same mossy green for his arm sticking out the side of the nail. Not too much space for that, but there's a little bit. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to sculpt his eyelids with more of that green acrylic. And his eyes aren't going to be symmetrical. He has kind of like a what are you doing sort of a look on his face. So his eyes, the eyelids aren't quite the same. One of them goes down a little farther than the other one, and they just have a slightly different appearance to them. So I don't know if you can see that, how one of them looks a little flatter, like it just got pushed down slightly. So then we're going to be doing some outlines with black acrylic paint and going over all of those, and you can add the little outlines on his forehead that give that facial expression a bit more character. Add his mouth, and for Squidward, all of his outlines are done in black, unlike the other two characters that had some color outlines on them too. For him, he just seemed to seem more at home with solid black outlines, so I decided to go with that and sort of stick with my instincts there, and then go down and add his neck, outline his neck, and then outline his shirt. So the photo that I used, his hands were on his hips, and I was kind of hoping I could get that where, you know, you could see his hands were on his hips, but you can still sort of tell just by the slouch of his shoulders that that's probably what's going on. And then apply some gel sealer over the background, over that teal color to make it nice and shiny, and then some matte top coat over Mr. Squidward, and then that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you missed either of the previous two videos in this series, I highly recommend checking them out. I think they go together so well, and each character just has its own personality that I love this set as a whole. So if you missed them, definitely watch them, and then don't forget to tag me in any recreations on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to see them, and I will see you next time. Bye!